How's it going, y'all? This is Legendary Nats, also known as Stanton, and we're going to continue on with episode 4 of my Dark Souls Remastered playthrough. And last time, we basically just went through the Undead Burg and took on the Taurus Demon, and also crossed this bridge where we came across the Hellkite Drake, and picked up our new weapon, which is going to be the Claymore for now. What I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be going through the Undead Parish and continue on forward. Open up this thing, which is going to open up to go further on in. But, yeah, so why don't we go ahead and go on through. I'm going to kind of try to explain a few things on what I'm planning on doing a little bit more in detail with this playthrough, so that you guys all know what's going down and how we can do things and all that stuff. But basically, we're going to be going through the areas. I will kind of hit some of the lore aspects. I know I said earlier that I wasn't going to like break it down like super detailed, but I kind of changed my mind, especially after talking to a few of y'all. You would like me to actually go into some detail when it came to the aspects of the lore. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show off my little skinny legs until I can actually build up a little bit more of my endurance, so that I can start carrying more stuff and not mid-roll. So, but over here, I had showed y'all this last night. This particular statue. Now, this is going to be kind of important a little bit later on. Right now, it's not. Mainly because we haven't gotten this unlocked yet, but this is actually where once you finish a couple of things, where you can actually go into the Sunlight Covenant. The Sunlight Covenant is is the exact same covenant that Slayer is a part of. When you join the Sunbro Covenant, it's called Sunbro in the community. When you put down your substone sign, it normally shows up white. But if you put it down while you are part of the Sunbro Covenant, it'll actually glow orange. So it kind of gives a little bit of a distinction between the two. So I just wanted to kind of give that. So let's continue on going forward. And obviously you can see this weapon is much stronger than my longsword, which the longsword is actually a really good weapon. And this right here is actually just another way of getting here. From, I think, the area that had the Hellkite Drake. Yeah, because there are rats right here. This is just another way, but this is kind of a riskier way, in my opinion, because rats can actually inflict poison. And right now we don't have any way to actually combat poison, so I didn't want to go that way. That's why I ran across the bridge. So it gives you a couple ways to go across. And we'll continue on. Now, if you see up here, we have some crazy things going on. We have a big armored boar. And that thing is quite intense. That thing can actually really mess you up if you're not careful. So we're not going to piss it off right now. In fact, we're going to just kind of draw a couple of these guys on over. I knew he was going to hit me. So, what we're going to actually do, I'm going to try and see if I can squeeze on this way. I know that there's an enemy right there, but we're going to squeeze on this way. Mainly because I want to get in here first. Close the thing. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do, actually. It's the shortcut, major shortcut, and it will make life easier. If you don't actually take care of that shortcut, you will end up getting screwed over, unfortunately. It's just the truth. Hell. Well, if you can hit them, they can hit you. That's just the truth of life. But if you don't actually take care of that little shortcut, you have to go the other way, and you come across a lot of hollows and have to go the back way. And it's really not fun to deal with. So that's why I wanted to do this. This is just a shortcut, essentially. So, come back. Come here. red tear stone ring for the win. Or blue tear stone ring. My bad. There we go. Now that's closed, and we will actually open this up. Now, I'm not going to worry about the boar right now. In fact, I will show you guys an easy way to take on the boar. And if I die right here, I don't really care that much because I'm right next to a bonfire, but I want to kind of get around the boar because I don't want to get wrecked. But that boar is actually really weak to fire, and if it runs into that fire, it's going to get so messed up, it's unreal. Man, I love the claymore. It's such a good weapon. It really is. And see, you can, what we just picked up is what is called the Alluring Skulls. Alluring Skulls are really good little useful tools that you can use. What it does, and we will actually kind of look a little bit into the lore of it, but it'll attract certain enemies to go into spots that you want it to go to. But let's look up the lore of it. A skull with meekly lingering souls. Throw to shatter and spread souls to attract certain enemy types. Souls are a concentration of life, and the life-starved hollows are lured by its power, not effective for all enemies. Now, for the weaker enemies, you can use this, and there are a couple of strong enemies you can use it as well, but I wouldn't really trust in it that much. So I'm going to try and throw that Alluring Skull and see if I can get, see how that fire is just like wrecking home dude. He was like, oh no, hold on. So let's see if I can do it again without falling down myself. And there is actually a cool thing. Sometimes you'll get the drop where you'll actually get its the skull or the helmet of that particular enemy type, and it's a really good armor for the most part. Are you going into it? No, it's okay. Oh no! Go in there. Just go right on in there. There we go. Awesome. Oh, I didn't even see you. Take that. Well, it didn't drop anything, but that's okay. We didn't really have to have it drop anything. I think the Alluring Skulls were actually drawing these guys over to me. If you didn't know, you can dual, two-hand weapons. When you two-hand weapons, it actually makes your attack stronger. Basically for strength builds. I don't think it does it for dex weapons or skill-based weapons. Now, what ends up happening with two-handing, I didn't actually mention this earlier, and I apologize, but sometimes you'll pick up weapons that are just too heavy, and you don't have the type of skills necessary or the stats to be able to wield it. So, like with this particular weapon right here, if you go and look at the not the status, on here, it's a CC scaling weapon. I'll go into a little bit more on the whole scaling thing, but if you actually look where it says Rec Param, that's the required parameters that you can actually be able to use that particular weapon. You have to have at least 16 in strength, which I have 16 in strength, and you have to have at least 10 dexterity, which I have 14. So that means I can actually one-hand this weapon because I have the proper strength and dexterity to be able to hold this weapon. If you do not have the proper dex or the proper strength, the weapon will be weak whenever you actually try to use it. Sometimes you'll bounce off, sometimes it'll take forever for you to swing, stuff like that. So always be mindful of that. Now, if you have a weapon that requires a lot of strength, for example, let's say this weapon required me to have 32 strength. Okay, so with one hand, I wouldn't be able to hold that because I only have 16 strength. But if I two-hand the weapon, like so, then I meet the requirements. Of course, when you do that, you take away your ability to use a shield, but for the most part, you can block with the weapons. Now it'll only do partial blocking, so you'll still take chip damage, and you can't block against big heavy hitting attacks, so just be mindful of that. But you can actually use them, so just a little bit of FYI for you. if you're curious about weapons. Now there is another Black Knight that I am kind of not wanting to go up there and fight. You can actually go right up here and fight him. I don't particularly like fighting this one because he actually has an ultra great sword, and he hits really hard and probably will dang near one-shot me if I try to go up against him, which is fine if that happens, but the whole reason why I would go up against him is so I can try and see if I can get his weapon or a piece of armor or a shield. The shields are really good. It's 100% blocking shields, and you'll see on some shields that some are 100% blocking or some are not. And let's see if I can toggle. See, this one is 100% physical shield and has pretty good magic, fire, and lightning defense. That 100% means that no matter what, if it's a physical attack and it's coming at it straight forward, I will block it 100% and not take any damage. But the stability is not the best in the world. It's only at 55. So that would mean that I would end up, after a few hits, especially from heavy attacks, maybe about two and a half hits, or two to three hits, I'll lose my stability and go in a, like, oh no, slow motion kind of thing where I throw my arm back, and then it leaves you vulnerable to damage. And I think you get counter damage when that happens. So like if I'm trying to dodge, I get hurt more if I dodge inappropriately or inaccurately. So if I dodge like this and then a person comes and hits me at the end of my dodge, I get counter damage. So that actually I think is a 1.5 multiplier. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on those words. So just be mindful of that. But anyways, I'm not going to take him on right now because I don't really care to take him on, and I only have one Estus, and I don't really feel like resting at the whatchamacallit. But see, this particular hollow, its whole goal is actually to lead you in here to come into a ambush of all these hollows in here, because we've already killed a couple already, so that's why I was okay for the most part. I didn't get like overswamped or overtaken by them because I actually killed a couple of them already. So there's that. And I'm sorry for the crappy commentary. I'm actually not feeling that great. I live in the South. I live in Louisiana. And so sinuses are... Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that just happened. So my sinuses are actually kind of messed up right now. I'm coughing and wheezing like an old fogey. So I apologize if I'm not keeping you entertained because of the way I'm feeling. So alright, so we'll go through this white fog, and it will actually bring us into the next area. Now you have to be very careful. See, this actually brings us back to where we were just at, and I'm actually going to go and rest at the bonfire due to the fact that I have like no Estus, because there is an enemy type here that is actually much stronger than what we have been taking on, called Baldur Knights, and I'm hoping to get a drop from them, a specific drop. A lot of people like this particular drop that you can get from either the shield or the sword, especially the sword. The sword's called the Baldur Swag Sword, and I really want to get it because I've never had one, and all the times I've played this game I've never had one, so I really want to get one. And it will actually kind of determine if I want to continue using the Claymore or if I want to go with that weapon. So it's just a really good weapon all around. Oh my gosh, I'm so out of it. There we go. I keep getting hit. I'm gonna go rest. I feel stupid for getting hit by that. Now you can actually parry as well. So if you are without a shield, you can actually parry. as you can see. So I'm gonna make sure that Home Dude doesn't drop that thing on me again, and that I can make it in time. Oh wait, that particular one doesn't respawn, so I'm okay. And as you see, the bigger weapons that you go with, they actually require more stamina. So you have to be very mindful. Oh my gosh. You have to be very mindful of that whenever you're playing. Alright, so I've essentially got rid of the annoying ones. And I really don't need to go any further with it. I can just continue on and go the back way. Now, be very careful whenever you come over here. Oh, sniping me, man. They know how to get me. Oh, and there he is. You gotta be very careful with these guys. Those guys do a lot of damage, especially the one that has the rapier. Be very careful. If he does a specific stance, do not attack him. I repeat, do not attack him. If you try attacking him, you will regret it forever. There we go. Get rid of these guys with the swords. I mean, with the bow or crossbows, so they can just stop messing me up. But yeah, guys, I have been feeling kind of under the weather. My sinuses, I get really bad. Oh my gosh, I get really bad sinus infections, and right now I am currently trying to make sure that I am fighting it off because I don't want to miss any work or anything like that, which I don't plan on. I plan on going to work anyways. Oh, he fell. Okay, well, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, he hit me in the head. As you can see, when you hit something in the head with a bow, you actually do more damage to them, and you stun them. So you have to be very careful with that. Got backstab. Oh yeah. So yeah. Oh, and we picked up a new weapon, and I apologize I haven't even shown it off yet. I've been trying to focus here, but we got a new weapon. It's called, and it is the halberd. So why don't we look at that weapon real quick? The halberd, which has a D in scaling for both strength and skill or dexterity. I have the actual parameters to be able to wield this weapon. The halberd is a really good weapon. It's a very, very good weapon. And if you know how to use it, you can just really screw everyone up. Excuse me. But the scaling is not as good. Now, see, it has a D in scaling for both dexterity and for make sure. Okay, that's just ash flying in the air. But it has a scaling for both dexterity and strength. What that actually means is that as you level up strength and dexterity, the bonus that you get along with it is not going to be as high. So a weapon like the Claymore has a C scaling in both of those, which means it's actually a quality weapon. It's not a full base strength, not a full base dexterity weapon. And that just means that I get a higher bonus whenever I actually wield this weapon. This one has higher base damage, but this one is going to give me more damage along the lines of the scaling. So as I continue to level up my strength and my dexterity, I'm going to have higher scaling with it. So that's how you can tell. And the highest scaling you can get is S scaling. And some weapons like this, not the S stock, but some weapons actually will have an S scaling. The better weapons that we'll find later on. I think the best dexterity weapon, besides one of the katanas, is the Death Scythe, and it's freaking phenomenal for what it can do. So, just to give you an idea. So let's just continue on. We're not going to go inside the building because that's the church. We're not going to go inside the church just yet, but we do have this guy. Oh. And as you see, he does hit like a truck. drop anything. Dang it. Dang it all. The Heffel. There we go. Now, there is a Baldur Knight. He probably heard me. These Baldur Knights over here have really good hearing. Yep, he heard me. Oh, and he got the backstab on me, too. That's awesome. Wow. This particular Baldur Knight likes to do some crazy critical hits. I'm going to have to try and lose him so I can heal real quick. This is the one that you want to be careful that you don't try and attack him. Because he has... Yep, he killed me. He has a faster hitting weapon. He has a rapier. And he will jack you up, as you just saw him do to me. So be careful of taking him on. He will actually do a specific stance too, where he'll hold his rapier out in front of him. And if you try attacking him, he will parry you and hit you extremely hard. So just be mindful of that. I know I say be mindful of that a lot, so I do apologize for repeating myself so many times. Man, I'm doing so bad. I am such a noob. Ooh, he almost hit me. Daggum hits, man. I can do that too, you know. What do we get? Titanite Shard. These guys are an okay way to actually farm Titanite Shards starting out this early in the game. Because we're very early in the game. And Titanite Shards are how you actually level up your weapons. You make them much stronger. And the more and more that you get, you can actually make them do a lot of damage. Starting out in this game, you can do some really good builds if you are... Oh gosh. Oh. The noises, man. Orgasmic noises. Oh, is that an incline? Ah, yeah. Ooh. Oh, Titanite. Dadgummit. I was really hoping it was going to be something different, but oh well. This time I have to make sure I'm a little bit more quiet. I think this guy is automatically staring at you. And I know I'm not really giving that much lore right now. There's not too much really to give at the moment. Yes, got the backstab. There's not too much to really say. Oh, I got the helmet though. About what's going on. So please understand, there's just not much going on lore-wise that I can really discuss. Oh, I think he heard me, so he should be coming. Maybe this time I don't get backstabbed. Okay, he may not have heard me. No, he did not. Good. This is the one that killed me earlier, if you didn't know. Revenge. Oh, you're not dead. He was dead. We just picked up the Night Shield. Let's look at it real quick. I actually really like the design of the Night Shield. So this is 100% physical deflection shield. So this is a good shield. It actually has 1 point higher than the heater shield that I have on stability. So it's a good shield all around. It looks really, really nice. Once I can actually start wielding it, I will actually start putting back on armor, so I'm not like half naked running around. If you know what I'm saying. There we go. Alright, so let's continue on here and head on down. I love the physics in this game. The ragdoll effects are so great. This is what I loved. I hated that in Dark Souls 2 they took that away. It ticked me off. Yes, I love parrying. It's so necessary. It's just a satisfying thing. Make sure I don't get hit by that. In there is the church. We want to be kind of careful about the going inside the church. There's a very strong enemy type in there. Well, two, actually. Two very strong enemy types, and we may be able to see one of them. I don't really want to take them on, though, right now. Mainly because I want to come this way, and we're going to meet someone here in just a second. Ah, you hear the clanging. Making my way downtown, walking fast. Let's go ahead and light this bonfire. This is going to be a pretty key bonfire. So let's go ahead and sit down. We'll do a little bit of leveling up. Get some more endurance so that hopefully I can start carrying armor and not be a fat tub of lard. Let's see. Someone else ringing the bell. Oh my gosh, I'm still doing it. This is ridiculous. Let me look at my equipment burden. My equipment load doesn't seem to be that high, so why am I still... oh well. We're gonna, before we go down there, we're gonna come this way. And come speak to a pretty key character. One that a lot of people love. One that I love myself as well. And they made him look way better in this one. You see this big onion, bro? What you doing, bro?
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina. Quite honestly, I've run flat up against a wall, or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak.
I love Siegmeyer.
Still closed.
He's such a great character.
Still closed. Still closed.
Ho ho!
Still closed. Still
He is a knight from Katarina. Now, Katarina is known for their unique armor, and this is one of them. They look like onions, which is great. I love Japan and their use of armors and stuff, but he's a very interesting character, and he's going to be a continuous character as we go on throughout the game. Sigurd is such a great character all around. I just really, really like him. And now I will say I will mess up his name multiple times because I'm also thinking of the Dark Souls 3 version of him, because there's Sigurd and then there's also Siegmeyer. So, and I also think of Squidward as well from SpongeBob SquarePants. And then we have us another character right here. Blacksmith. Old Buffs McGee.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre of Astoria. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
He is our blacksmith. He will actually help us craft weapons, especially boss weapons, and he will continuously work on that S-Stock forever. But Andre is awesome, and if you actually hit him and actually try to kill him, he will box you into next week. He is straight up Mike Tyson of Dark Souls. But this guy is amazing. He's also from Astora, just like Solaire and Oscar, and he has made it over here as a blacksmith, so he's a really great character, and you'll be able to find out a lot more. But this is how you're going to buff your weapons and buff your armor. You can actually come here and buy Titanite shards from him, and later on you'll be able to buy large Titanite shards. He's also got a few different things right here, like Armor Smith box, Repair box, Weapon box, and the Crest of Artorias, which is a key. We'll need that. And then you can buy a few different weapons from him. You can buy Broadsword, Bastard Sword, which is basically a smaller version of the Claymore. It does have, I think, a little bit of a different move set than what I have on my Claymore. And then a few different shields, and then a bunch of arrows that you can buy from him. So Andre is going to be a great character, and we're actually going to talk to him in the next episode. So I want to thank you guys. I know this one was probably a lot more boring because I wasn't able to do as much, but I've hit my marker on my time, so I just want to make sure I try to keep these episodes around 20 to 30 minutes long. So yeah, so thank you for joining me today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.